The UFC is leaving Abu Dhabi and they're heading to Serbia. In the Belgrade Arena, Uroš Medić is taking on D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez. I'm here to give you my full picks and predictions about every fight. I'm Rob, and this is Target MMA. Here we go. Our first fight of the night. We have Stephanie Luciano taking on MARINA SPASIC in her debut. MARINA SPASIC, right? Oh, SPASIC. She's 7-1 in her professional career. She's coming off of a TKO body shots to Samara Santos. She is a busy striker. She has good power in her hands. She's stalking pressure. She can be hittable, but she doesn't really mix in any clinch work. She relies on the power that she's had against trash cans. Honestly, her debut in Serbia was against Jovana Dukic. She's going to be the home girl here, but she beat Dukic. She's 1-3, right? That's one girl. The next girl she knocked out, Alina Tuber, 0-3. Next person, she went to a decision with Indy Breyer, who was 0-5. This girl has not won at all. She knocked out Semin Kamal Boek, 6-7. So if you look at her record, it's padded. 7-1. She's knocking out trash cans. So before you look at like, wow, this girl got power. 6 out of her 7 is by knockout. Where? Against trash cans? Come on. She's taking on Stephanie Luciano, who has UFC experience. She can be taken down, but she scrambles her way back up. She is a striker in her own right, and she mixes striking with her leg kicks. She has good head movement, but she does get hit. And her head is like straight up in the air. It's very strange. Like sometimes she moves it, sometimes it's like this. Like she's very robotic looking. The pick is going to be Stephanie Luciano. Probably by decision. It's a ladies' fight. They usually go long. They're both going to be striking. I can see Luciano getting in some clinch work. She's listed as well-rounded. I can see that. She had a submission in her last fight over Ravina Oliveira. It's pretty good, you know. And that was her first submission win. Interesting. But I can see this going long. Or possibly take it to the ground, getting another submission. The pick is going to be Stephanie Luciano, basically for the UFC experience, and she's going to just be better in the striking. We have a heavyweight bout between JOVAN LEKA and Aleksandar POPPECK. JOVAN LEKA is 13-2 his professional career. He is coming off of a knockout win against Danilo Suzart. We've seen him win a decision in Dana White's Contender Series against Azamat Novotelayev, but we haven't seen him fight yet. He's taken on POPPECK, 21-5. He usually fights in Octagon MMA. I believe, where is this place? Is that some Georgian promotion? The way they spell Octagon. Poland? I don't know. Not necessary. Aleksandar POPPECK, 21-5. He has 13 wins of his 21, 13 knockouts of his 21 wins. He has been knocked out before. He's been submitted before. Now, he has a questionable chin when he's striking, but he likes to use feints, switches stances, good movement, good lateral movement. He likes to circle around his opponent. If he tries to shoot a takedown, he leaves his neck a little too out there. If he does take you down with a single leg, he shoots for a lot of single leg takedowns, and that's keeps his neck right there. He'll use a lot of ground and pound. For somebody that's 13 KOs, he is pretty low volume. He has a stiff jab and good pressure, but doesn't swing as much as you expect. You see 13 knockouts, you're like, whoa, this guy's knocking out everybody, but he's not doing it as much. Taking on JOVAN LEKA, as I said, 13-2 in his professional career. He has 7 KOs, 4 submissions. He's a finisher in his own right. He's going to be the favorite here at minus 275. And he likes to tap his jabs, and then he fires his right hand against people. He has good ground and pound when he's on top. Fast hands, rips to the body. He doesn't check leg kicks. That could be a problem here because POPPECK is listed as a kickboxer. He has some kicks in his arsenal. LEKA is strong in the clinch. If he gets you up against the cage, you're not moving. He will be the cleaner striker. I think the speed is going to be a factor here. JOVAN is fighting at home. He is Serbian. But POPPECK is going to be a lot faster. He's initially a light heavyweight. He's going up in weight to fight JEKA. I keep saying JEKA. JOVAN LEKA. I want to see the weigh-ins before I make a decision on who I'm going to bet. Right now, I am leaning LEKA being the better striker. He's more well-rounded. POPPECK will be faster. And that's a big deal. If POPPECK actually strikes with LEKA and uses his mobility, because we've seen his mobility in the cage. He moves around a tremendous amount. If he could dance around the cage, get some shots off, avoid the power from LEKA, avoid the clinch, because I think LEKA's gonna be big boy power, able to manhandle POPPECK in the clinch. If POPPECK gets his hands going, he can possibly win this. I want to see the weigh-ins. I'm gonna lean the underdog here and go with POPPECK. I thought this was LEKA coming down in weight at one point. I'm looking all over. I kept getting mixed information. Who's going down in weight? Who's going up in weight? Yada, yada, yada. So, we got to see what POPPECK looks on the scales. If anyone's listening to this, I would not bet the house on this fight. There's a lot of question marks here. I'm not overly impressed by either of these fighters. Now, if you run down whom LEKA has fought, Danilo Suzar, 10-3. Charles Milner, 7-5. Azamat, as I said before on the Dana White Contender Series, 14-2. Some decent competition so far. Gennady, 10-6. Not so much. Thiago Alfonso, 10-8. Not so much. 17-14 for Derlei Brunstrup. Alexander POPPECK, 21-5, 13 KOs, as I said. He just won a decision win against a 21-7 Thomas Narkin. Decision against a 7-1 Jesus Samuel. I'm trying to see who had the stiffer competition. David Hosek, 13-8. Pavol Langer, 13-12. They're both. I can see this just being a strange fight because both of these guys are unproven. They haven't fought the better competition. Neither have fought the best competition. I'm going to lean POPPECK just because of the speed advantage here. He's the natural light heavyweight. Going up in weight, we got to see how that factors in because LEKA is the cleaner striker. Initial lean POPPECK. We'll see what happens on Friday. We have a ladies' fight between Nina Milosevic and Haley Cowan. Now, let's break down Haley Cowan first. She won her Dana White's Contender Series by split decision, and then they fed her to Jamie Lynn Horth, fed her to Nora Cornell, and then fed her to Alice Pereira. She's not that great of a striker. She has okay striking. She is very physical and technical, and then she likes to go into a clinch, take you down. She is grappling. Her grapple defense is pretty sound. But overall, she's not that great of a fighter. She's on a 3-fight losing streak in the UFC, although she has fought good competition. But now they're giving her a UFC debutante, 8-1, Queen Beast, Nina Milosevic. And if you watch the tape studies that I have, she's explosive. There was one fight where she just jumped at her opponent. She literally didn't want to touch gloves, right into a takedown, and then got a submission in the first round. Quick. She was fun to break down. I'll be honest with you. She has slick striking, very loose type of flow, good takedown defense, and she kind of hides behind that shoulder and then boom, explodes. She has, for a female striker, a female fighter, she's pretty well rounded, but she has great striking capabilities. I am happy to announce I am betting her. She is really good. Minus 400 is a little wide for a female fight because they're still female fights. You know, you gotta be cautious with these. But she's actually decent. A UFC debut who has good wrestling, good takedowns, good striking. You know, I think Haley Cowan is not UFC caliber, and this is gonna be her retirement party. We're gonna go with Nina Milosevic by submission, maybe decision, because again, these are still female fights. Next up on UFC Fight Night in Serbia, I just found out this is the first ever Serbia event. That's cool. We have Kyle PREPOLIC and MATEUSZ REBECKI. I'm not calling him Rombeshki. There's no M in there, and you can't make me. MATEUSZ REBECKI, 20-5 in his professional career. He's coming off back-to-back losses, but they're quality losses. Grant Dawson's okay. Ludovic Klein is okay. Chris Duncan is good. The best win that he has in the UFC is Marlon Orobai, where they went to war. And he's just durable as hell. He gets hit a lot. He has a lot of scar tissue that if you hit him, he bleeds immediately. That's a big deal when you're getting hit and the judges see, wow, he's bleeding already? Oh my God, he must be getting hit a lot. No, I mean, or hit hard at least. But he's the minus 350 favorite here. And I can see why. Because Kyle PREPOLIC is also not good. This man is on back-to-back losses in the UFC. He hasn't won in the UFC. You see that he's winning in BTC, PFC, SMMA, all these different regional promotions. But who is he beating? The last person he beat? Gustavo Wurlitzer, Showman, as he's labeled. This man is 27-33. He beat a 43-year-old grandpa. Come on, man. Come on, man. What are we talking about? Kyle PREPOLIC is not UFC caliber. I'm not saying REBECKI is either. But if we had to pick somebody, the odds are okay, I guess, because REBECKI does hit hard. He does swing wild. Although he does get hit, he still has movement, which is crazy. He has a lot of movement, but he's always getting hit. He uses a lot of feints, and he is a strong wrestler. He can implement his wrestling and get some submissions if he likes. If you look at his record, like I say, he's 20-5, 9 TKOs, 7 submissions, 4 decisions. But he too has 2 finishes in the UFC. So it's translating, you know, it's alright. He got a submission armbar over Roosevelt Roberts and a TK over Loik Razabov. So at least he's getting wins in the UFC. I can't say much about our friend over here. This guy, he's not hitting nobody. nickname is Killshot, and he has 10 TKOs, 4 submissions, 4 decisions. He's only been knocked out once, 3 submissions and 6 decisions. He, again, all these guys, they got a lot of movement. These guys are not just stagnant in the middle, ready to get hit. But he does flinch. You know, the movement, the feints and the fakes that REBECKI's going to implement, that can really do a number on Kyle's psyche. He flinches to everything. But he has good striking defense. He has good head movement. He swings a bit wide. Like he comes on the outside from his strikes. It's a little bizarre looking. Surprising that he has 10 TKOs. I don't understand how he gets any of it with the haymakers that he throws. But he has a come forward style. I can see REBECKI getting him out of there by TKO or by submission. If he does implement his wrestling, he can do that, because we've seen Kyle submitted. He got submitted by Benoit Saint Denis. Round 2, that's when Benoit needed that comeback, and they fed him to him. I think this is another fight where they're going to feed Kyle PREPOLIC to somebody that needs a win. REBECKI needs a win. They both need a win, to be honest with you, but I think they like REBECKI a little bit more, so they're giving him PREPOLIC. We're going with PREPOLIC pretty... I'm sorry. I got carried away. PREPOLIC. Sounds fun to say. Kind of flows. PREPOLIC. We're going with REBECKI pretty confidently here. I don't know if he's going to get a finish, but Kyle's pretty finishable. Let's go REBECKI. We have the featherweight bout between BOGDAN GRAD and Denis BUZUKJA. Yeah, him. Denis is 12-6 in his professional career. He is coming off of an insane knockout to, pulling it up, I don't know why it's so slow, Marcio Barbosa. I actually bet Barbosa by first round knockout. That was insane. That was fun to watch. I just rewatched it to kind of like get a feel of how Denis fights, his fight style, because I wasn't really breaking down fights back then. I still picked Barbosa because I'm like, well, this guy should clear. He looks like he got power. Now I'm actually breaking them down. So I'm watching the fights and I got shocked. I'm like, oh, I just relived that moment. It was a great moment. Anyway, Denis BUZUKJA is 12-6 in his professional career, and he only has 1 win in the UFC over Connor Matthews, where he got the knockout win. But he's not a big knockout guy. 5 KOs out of 12 wins, 6 losses, never submitted, knocked out twice. Went to a split decision with Francis Marshall, where his takedown defense was pretty good, and he got dropped. This guy is pretty hittable. He has pillow hands. He's heavy on his front leg. I mention that often with these fights because I want you to understand, when someone's heavy on their front leg and they don't check leg kicks, they can get dropped. They can get hurt. Look what happened with JDM and Carlos Prates. Heavy on that front leg, chewed his leg up. He has okay striking. He can be hit, and he's been dropped. He got dropped by Francis Marshall, who has 1 knockout in his whole career. Francis Marshall couldn't really take him down, though. That was impressive. So Denis has he has decent takedowns, takedown defense. He uses a lot of feints. He will mix body shots and leg kicks when he's striking. He's taking on BOGDAN GRAD. BOGDAN GRAD, he is 15-4, and he's a finisher. 3 of his wins are by decision. 3 submissions, 9 TKOs. I just rewatched his win over Lucas Alexander, where I actually remembered Alexander because he was chinny. And I'm like, oh, this man's going to get dropped. And it was like plus 360 or something for a knockout, and I took BOGDAN GRAD for knockout. It was sick. I bet that without barely knowing. It's good times. But he's pretty good. This kid, he has 4 losses, 2 decision, 2 knockout. Never been submitted either. He has powerful hands. He has good pressure, uses some feints, mixes in his wrestling and his grappling. So if he gets a shot on you, he'll dive at your legs. His head movement is terrible. The left hooks and the striking from Dennis might connect, but again, pillow hands. Man's barely hitting anything. But Bogdan Grad, although he doesn't move his head very much, he has his hands high up to his face. When he is taken down, if he's taken down, if he gets the takedown, he can be reversed. His grappling is okay, but it's not the heaviest pressure because he is pretty short. I mean, he's 5'8", but he's still a short king. 5'11". I digress. Anyway, Bogdan should clear here. Minus 210. It's not giving enough value to how good Grad is. He has good power in his hands. He was knocked out by Luke Riley, but Luke Riley has powerful hands and he's a more technical striker. But I remember that fight, and I remember Bogdan Grad actually getting some takedowns round one and controlling Riley a bit. If I remember, I didn't look that fight up. But I remember betting Grad because I thought the takedowns would work. But then he got dropped bad. But I think Grad should clear here. I think the wrestling might not be a big factor because Dennis Bazooka has decent takedown defense, but the power in his hands. This man will swing wild. Hopefully he has the fight IQ to realize once he can't get those takedowns, he stops and just strikes. Because Dennis Bazooka doesn't have the best chin in the world. He's been knocked out 2 out of his 6 losses. And one is by, like I said, Barbosa. The next was Jamal Emmers, who has decent power in his own right. 9 out of 22, not by much, but he has decent power. 9 out of 22 by KO. The pick is Grad. I'm going to lean by knockout, but it could go a hard 3. Next up, we have Borislav NIKOLIC taking on Mark Vologdin. This is a short notice replacement because originally Mark Vologdin was supposed to fight Josias Musasis. And I was going to pick Musasis because he is the KO wizard for a reason. But he's only been fighting wrestlers. Now, don't get me wrong. This could be interesting as well because Borislav NIKOLIC, let me just pull him up and pull up his stats because he's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. At first, I thought he's a little wild. He is 16-2 with 7 knockouts and 8 submissions. He's only won 1 decision. He's never been knocked out, and he's been submitted once and 1 decision loss. Now, he swings a bit wild, but he has power when he's swinging. He swings from his hips. His hands are pretty low. I guess he trusts his chin enough if he is hit, but he has good head movement. He has good footwork. He can be taken down, but he scrambles pretty well. I think in his last fight, he was probably taken down maybe like 4 times and just kept getting back up. Minimum 4 times. I wasn't counting. But every time I saw that his opponent gets a takedown or a double leg and they push through it, he gets taken down. But he does a good job scrambling. Now, he has a good enough chin, and if he is cracked, he can still come forward. He has good power. He is pretty quick and explosive hands. He is taking on the shortest person in the division, Mark Vologdin, who's, like I said, he was originally on this card. He's a take one to give one kind of fighter. He has a karate type style, as it's indicated in his stats. He doesn't really check leg kicks. NIKOLIC can kick. It's not really like, he doesn't do that often, but he puts it in there. He mixes it up pretty well. But as you've seen in his contender series, he's pretty durable. He got this contract because of his durability. I'm not very high on Mark Vologdin. He has good leg kicks on his own. He'll switch stances. And he's pretty fast. He has good takedown defense. He can wrestle, but he can be hit. And this is where it gets to be tough, right? We don't have odds on this fight. So it makes it easier for me to break down. It makes it easier for anybody to break down. Anybody that sees the odds like, oh, minus 300, oh, I got to slam that. This is going to be very interesting because NIKOLIC just fought in February and he's the short notice guy, but he's the hometown guy in Serbia. So the the plane flights and layovers, it's not going to be a factor. Mark Vologdin is from Russia. I don't know if he trains. I gotta look that up. I don't know if he trains in Russia. All Stars Training Center. I gotta look that up. But it's gonna be interesting because Mark Vologdin has some takedowns, and NIKOLIC can be taken down. But I don't think he's gonna be able to be held. I think NIKOLIC has more power in his hands. I think Mark has pillow hands. I don't think he's that dangerous of a fighter. He has 6 knockouts on his record, but nothing's translating that well. You know, he's fought an All-Stars fight night, knocked out this guy, Renan Cesar Baptista, 10-12. This guy got no chin. Holy, 8 of his 12 losses are by knockout. What are we talking about? This guy's getting dropped quick. Another guy, 9-9. Ricardo Montero, 6 out of his 9 losses by knockout. So Mark Vologdin not necessarily has power. He's knocking out people that just don't have a chin. Borislav Nikolic, he is, like I said, 16-2, 7 KOs and 8 submissions. He just knocked out MATEUSZ Malta. MATEUSZ Malta he's 12-7, usually goes to a decision. 6 out of his 7 losses by decision. He suffers only knockout loss to Nikolic. Hamza Kulhelji. These people are in Brave. This is a pretty decent regional promotion. 15-4. 2 knockout losses. So a guy that's been chinned once. Just running down the list of people he knocked out. Ikweyubi. Chinese guy. 4 losses, 2 of which by knockout, 1 of them being this guy. So, point being, NIKOLIC has knocked out people that has been knocked out once or not at all. Mark Vologdin knocked out people who can be knocked out. His hands are not that powerful. He's just durable. He's exciting because he is a take one to give one kind of fighter, as I said before. But he's not really going to be doing much damage on the longer, faster, although older fighter here. Borislav has more power. He has more ways to win. He's gotten submissions. He's gotten knockouts. I'm leaning NIKOLIC here. And the more I talk about it, the more I look at these records and the past fights, it's like I'm getting more confident by the day. Mark Vologdin has some UFC experience, albeit 1 fight. You know, he fought and went to a draw with John Castaneda, and John Castaneda is a decent fighter, you know, but not enough to convince me. We're going with Borislav Nikolic for the win. We have the UFC debut of Michael Oliveira, and he's taking on OBAN Elliott. OBAN Elliott, he's been okay in the UFC. He's coming off of 2 losses. One is Sakyan Ko, where he was like almost a -400 favorite. That was a bad idea. The odds makers did not respect Sakyan Ko, and he's actually a decent prospect. OBAN Elliott, he did knock out Basil Hafez. He went to a decision with Preston Parsons, decision Valentine Woodburn, decision in his Dana White's Contender Series against Kaique Brito. He's not that dangerous of a fighter. He has good leg kicks. He has explosive strikes. He's a very loose style. He doesn't have a very high guard. He keeps it kind of low. And he'll bomb overhands. Pretty fast with his jab too. But he was dropped by Mikolev. He didn't respect the power from Jonathan Mikolev I believe in the first round. I believe it was the first round. And Mikolev only has 2 knockouts out of his 10 wins. He's not the most incredibly dangerous person, but he got dropped. He recovered, albeit ended up losing by submission round 2. Whoever had Mikolev, I had Mikolev, because I didn't think OBAN Elliott is that good. He's taking on Michael Oliveira, a very patient, powerful striker. He is 9-0 in his professional career with 8 knockout wins, 1 decision. And I rewatched that decision win over Aldo Pereira, who got dropped. He dropped Pereira with a jab. But I think the only thing that kind of saved him was the relentless mobility that he kept running away from Oliveira and his power. And when someone's on their bike, it's kind of hard to track him down. He did a good job cutting off the cage, and he ended up dropping him with the jab, but he couldn't get a hold of him long enough to finish the fight. Now, he has good takedown defense, and OBAN Elliott can implement some single legs. We've seen that in some of his fights. He has good calf kicks, like some good calf kicks, but not that good. Like, he doesn't, not that they're not good, he doesn't do it that often. But he does establish a nice steady jab. He's patient. Even when he has you rocked, he's not chasing you like a shark with blood in the water. He sees you dropped and he's picking his shots. He's still picking the shots. Incredibly patient, incredibly powerful. Somebody else came to mind, Atiba Gatier. The same thing. We all had Atiba by knockout. I believe, I forgot which fight that was, and it went to his decision. It was like, whoa, how did it go to a decision? Because it's the same thing. He hits you, drops you, doesn't chase you. Good and bad, but that speaks to the patience that Michael Oliveira has in there. Now, he's stalking down his opponent. He's cutting off the cage. He does a nice job at it. I'm picking Oliveira here. Minus 275 is not wide enough. It's going to be wider as the fight goes on. This should end in knockout. He should drop OBAN either the first or the second round. He has power to do it in other rounds. He knocked out Dali's Gamma round 3, but a lot of his fights end in round 1. Dana White's Contender Series went to round 2, but Victor Valenzuela was a dog. That man ate some shots, got back up, ate some shots. His face was, you wouldn't even recognize him. But he was a dog, and that's why he went to round 2. I don't think OBAN Elliott's going to withstand the power. He's been knocked out twice, not in the UFC, but in the regionals, in Cage Warriors. He was knocked out by Mikhail Figlak and Madars Betholds Fleminas. Wow. 14-8. He got knocked out by a guy that's 14-8. 7 knockouts, so half of his wins are by knockouts. Not bad. Mikhail Figlak, 9 wins. Half of his wins are by knockout. Decent fighters. They're not like the cream of the crop. That leads me to Michael Oliveira being, now he's going to be 10-0. I think he's going to get a good knockout, mostly because OBAN Elliott is stationary. He doesn't move as well as that man Aldo Pereira. Pereira was on his bicycle. OBAN Elliott is in your face, and you don't want to be in the face with your hands low, especially. You don't want to be in Oliveira's face. He's going to drop him. He's going to knock him out. 1 or 2. I think OBAN. Nah, it has to be 1. It's going to be 1 because OBAN's not going to survive. I could just see Michael being a little too patient at times, but he's gonna get it done by knockout. Easy reads. Next for our featured prelim of the night, we have TOFIQ MUSAYEV versus LUDOVIT KLEIN. These odds, as well as the fight order, are going to completely change because I'm going by the UFC official website, and you can see everything's a little out of whack. They still have Josias Musasas fighting Mark Vologdin. And if you look it up, you're like, wait, they're not fighting anymore. $1 billion company. Can't get the images or the fight order correct. So bear with me if this is not the order. I'm trying my best out here. LUDOVIT KLEIN taking on TOFIQ MUSAYEV. MUSAYEV is 36 years old. He's 23-6. He's listed as a kickboxer. Doesn't do too much kicking, but he has power in his hands. He likes to swing overhand rights, but he can be hit, and that is a big difference maker in this fight. He is in your face, and he will shoot single leg takedowns if he can. He's incredibly fast for somebody that's 36 years old. 18 of his 23 wins are by knockout, so he has power. And you can see that in Bellator, Ryzen, he's fought in decent promotions. But now, that hasn't translated in his 2 UFC fights. He was submitted by Moraltek Arobai, and he went to a decision, a questionable decision. I just watched that with Bahamatez. He was hurting Ignacio pretty badly on the ground after being dropped by a left hand by Ignacio. Now, he's taken on Ludovic Klein, who has been in this promotion for a long time. You would think he's an old man. He's 31 years old. I remember looking at him like, oh, this man's been here for a while. What is he, like 40? Is he 31? 31. 24-5-1 in his professional career. He's listed as well-rounded because he could implement grappling if he wants to. He has submissions. If my page over here would load, we'll get to it. But, yeah, 24 wins, 9 KOs, 8 submissions. We haven't seen his submissions translated into the UFC, but we've seen his power translated. He has, let me see, UFC debut against Shane Young, knocking him out. Lost 2 straight. Nate Landwehr submitted him. Decision. TKO front kick over AJ Cunningham. Decision, beat Thiago Moises. One of the better fights on his record. Went to a decision against Gamrot in a main event. And then recently, his last fight in October of 2025, he went to a decision with REBECKI. That was a good fight. Now, he is clean, he is technical, he has good in and out movement. He does a good job circling around his opponent, and he has fast hands. He is going to be fast as well. This is going to be a in-your-face fight. He has good takedown defense. If TOFIQ tries to shoot his single legs, that he does occasionally, he has power in both of his hands. The pick is going to be Ludovic Klein here because his fighting, his striking is much more technical, and he doesn't get hit as much as TOFIQ. TOFIQ can be hit, he can be dropped. Although TOFIQ has 1 knockout loss, but he hasn't been knocked out a while. Where is this? It was a while ago. Where is it? I just saw it before. Man has a lot of fights. Scrolling through them all. From Aleksandar Shibley by a body kick. A body kick dropped him. From a guy that's 25-4. Great record. 12 KOs on his record. He just beat Alfie Davis in PFL. He's actually good. Aleksandar Shibley. So, context, that's if you follow along that whole mindset, TOFIQ's only knockout loss, although he's hittable and he can be dropped, is to a decent PFL fighter. But that was for a body shot. It's not like this guy's getting dropped and finished. He's a dog. He's going to get dropped. He's going to get back up. I could see Ludovic winning rounds by being in his face and dropping him occasionally. But it's most likely going to be a decision. I don't see either fighter knocking out the other one. But the pick, nonetheless, is going to be Klein because he is the more technical striker of the two. Next, we have MILOS JANICIC taking on Noah GUGNON. Noah is 9-2 in his professional career. He is riding a 5-fight win streak between submissions and knockouts. 4 of the most recent were knockouts between elbows. You see him spinning elbows, leg kicks. He will mix in a lot. He's pretty well-rounded of a fighter. He can mix in takedowns, which I really like. He'll knee in the clinch when he gets you up against the fence. Now, if he does get you down, he has nasty ground and pound, elbows, hands, knees, and toes. All of them. All of it. He has good power in his hands. He mixes in combos, nice calf kicks. He can be taken down, but when he is taken down, he scrambles pretty well. And it goes to show you that he's only been finished once. He has not been submitted, but he has been knocked out in his Bellator debut against Mark Ewin back in 2023. And in that fight, Ewin was just the faster fighter. And you could see the speed difference it just made all It made all of the difference. He's taking on MILOS JANICIC. He is riding an 8-fight win streak. Couldn't get these words out. He is 19-3, 11 KOs, 8 submissions. He's never won a decision. He lost 2 decisions though, and he's been knocked out once early in his career. Back in 2016 against Stefan Nucic. Man's a killer. 9 out of 12 of his wins are by KO. Reasonable why you would get knocked out by him. But now, if you look at the people that Milos has been fighting, terrible. This is a padded record. This is what we call padded. Let's run down the list. He beat Alex Oliveira in his most recent fight. 6 out of 19 losses. The guy was 26-19. 6 losses by knockout. Before that, he knocked out Marco Blachowicz, 10-2. That was a pretty good record. I put my foot in my mouth on that one. I was looking through all these other ones. Ibrahim Hassanpour, 8-8, 5 losses by knockout. Jolson Nascimento, 14-10, 4 KO losses out of the 10. Exper Gazipoev, 20-10, not the worst record. 5 out of 10 by KO. Jaroslav Porkony, he submitted him, 16-12. Yeesh. Ivan Sakic, 4-8. You get the point. You get the point. There's a reason he's a dog here. I believe that record is padded. Now, more of his fight style and just not using MMA math. He has a loose style, and when he does strike with his left jab, he ducks his head a little too much. Could open him up for a leg kick. This could be a leg kick knockout. This could be Noah Gugnon coming in, mixing in some combos, and when Milo tries to jab and duck his head, meets a shin. I could definitely see that 100%. He will scramble when he's taken down as well. They both of these guys have pretty good scrambling skills, but he walks forward with no head movement, and his hands are low. I think he's susceptible to be knocked out here. It would be his second knockout, right? I said that second knockout loss. Yep, he lost 2 decisions and 1 knockout loss. 3 losses. I think Noah's going to give him a 4th loss here, a second KO loss. I think Noah has what it takes to beat him. He can mix in his takedowns, and I think he can hold him down until he gets some elbows. Leaning around 2 knockout, maybe a late finish. What is the latest that Noah's ever finished somebody? Round 1, 1, 2. 2. Okay, so he hasn't finished in round 3. All right, round 2 knockout. Noah Gugnon. We have a doozy. We have Gilbert Urbina taking on Vlasto Seppo. Now, Seppo, he's gonna be the home team advantage over here. He is 14-3 in his professional career, 10 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's never won a decision, because he is a kill or be killed kind of fighter. He's going to be the -300 favorite, and unfortunately for all of us, we don't know his reach. I don't see his reach being anywhere near Urbina's, but it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be less than 70 or 72. But keep a lookout for it, because I scoured the internet. I couldn't find it. But let's break him down nonetheless. He has a good chin. He swings from his hips, and he's a powerful, in-your-face fighter. He's very scrappy, power in both hands, swinging wild, and he trusts his chin, he trusts his power, and he's just pure chaos. Now, he can be hit also. The one problem is his cardio after round 1. We've seen him slow down. He's never been dropped. I'm sorry, not that he's never been dropped. He has been KO'd. That was a TKO where his opponent, Pyotr Wozniak. Okay? If you look in his record, the third one down. He has a TKO win over him, but he wasn't dropped. This guy, Piotr, kept going to the clinch and then grappling him because he can't be taken down. He's been taken down a few times. He's a little scrappy. He will get back to his feet. But this was a ground and pound situation where he was covering up. I didn't see he was tremendously hurt, but nonetheless, he has a good chin. He wasn't dropped there, just so you know. He's taking on Gilbert Urbina, and there's a lot of question marks in his record, in his weight class. He is listed as 7-4, but he's 7-5. It's a slight typo here. Now, he gets dropped by people. He got dropped by Medić in his last fight. After he dropped Medić, but everyone drops Medić. Medic's chin is a little questionable. He got dropped twice from Charles Radke. He used his kicks and his knees to win against Orion Koshy, and he got submitted by Brian Battle. He's 7-5, not the greatest record. He is pretty well-rounded. Now, another thing is he was a middleweight, and he went down to welterweight because he didn't have too much success. But now he's back at middleweight fighting a physically imposing middleweight. Now, he is scrawny in comparison. This guy's, he's a tank. He has snapping leg kicks. He has good range, but he can be hit and he can be dropped. He's pretty quick on his feet. He has good lateral movements. And he has decent power in his hands. Incredibly wide stance. Now, I'm picking Seppo to win in round 1 by knockout. But watch the live odds. Because if he drops Urbina and Urbina gets back up and it gets out of the first round, Urbina could take over. Seppo's cardio is terrible. He was breathing heavy after round 1 because he keeps up a tremendous pace throughout that entire round, trying to get you out of there. If it gets past the first round, watch those odds. I'm going to live bet Urbina if it gets out of the first round because that tank might not hold up for him. That tank might run out of gas. The pick is Seppo. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I think Urbina gets dropped way too much to survive first round. But there is a world that Urbina could stay safe using his good movement, using his range, slowing down Vlasto here. And he could get a late knockout win or submission. We've seen some submissions on his record, right? Urbina has 2 KOs, 2 submissions, 3 decisions. I think he could lock up a submission if he really wanted to. He has the length. Round 1 knockout for Seppo. Round 2 or 3 submission for Gilbert Urbina. But the pick is Seppo. More like an 80-20 pick. Next on our main card for Serbia, we have Robert Valentin taking on Dusko Todorovic. Robert Valentin is 12-6 in his professional career. Some sites will say he's 13-6. It's hard to get some information on these fighters on this card. There's a lot of mixed information out there. Now, he can mix in some takedowns, and he is heavy on top when he is in control. But he does keep his hands a bit low. He has power, so you can see he's swinging from his hips. He has good leg kicks. He has a nice jab because he's long and rangy. He survived a couple of shots from Atiba Gautier, which was pretty good. Early in his career, he was knocked out by Evos Aslan. So the people that can knock you out will knock Valentin out, which is pretty reasonable. 6 losses, 3 by knockout, 1 sub, 2 decisions. He is coming off of the submission win, probably saved his career, over Julien LeBlanc, where he was composed and he ended up snatching up the neck on the ground. He has good scrambles against somebody else that will try to scramble with him. Now you'll see the knockout loss or the TKO loss from Ryan Loder, but that's when he was put into a crucifix. I just mentioned how he has good scrambles And then next moment I'm saying he got crucifixed. Insane. He's had a pretty rough stint in the UFC. 3 losses back to back to back. He went to a split decision loss to Therese Finney, where he was just held up against the fence. That's it. Literally, that's the whole fight. Therese Finney dove at his hips, couldn't lock his hands against Valentin, and that was the fight. The ref did nothing to pull them off. Terrible. He's taking on Dusko Todorovic. He has good level changes. He swings from his hips as well, but he's very telegraphed. You know, you could see how slow he'll move. His head is just there to be hit. You can see when he's about to swing. He moves like an old man, but he's 32 years old. He's 13-6 in his professional career. These guys are not, they're not the cream of the crop of the UFC. Don't know why they're on the main card, to be honest. He does want to swing until he can get to a clinch, but he has sloppy takedown entries. He's going to just dive in for a double leg. Not confident here. He did out-wrestle Reese. I have that in my notes where he had good scrambles, and Reese is a decent enough jiu-jitsu nerd wrestler. I'm not betting this fight, and I don't recommend it. The pick is going to be Valentin because of how sloppy and sluggish Dusko looks. And I can see Dusko diving for his legs and Valentin snatching his neck because his neck's out there too. It was incredibly hard to find something that Dusko does well. To be honest with you, the scrambles against Reese was the highlight in his whole career for me. Valentin getting that submission saved his career. Both of these guys, how many losses right here? Dusko got a win over Jose Medina. If you didn't beat Jose Medina, I don't know if you're good at all. So that should have been a layup for him. 3 back-to-back losses. Beat a Jordan Wright. I don't even know who Jordan Wright is. I had to look him up. Knocked out by Chitty Bang Bang. Knocked out Maki Patola. I don't even know who he is. This guy fought in Tough Enough. How many times did he fight in the UFC? I fought in the UFC for a while. Lost to a bunch of people. Was it 13, 16, and 12? Oh my God. No wonder he was cut. Dusko lost to Gregory Rodriguez by decision, which is surprising because Punahele knocked him out. CLD knocked him out. Mansour Malik knocked him out. So not to get knocked out by Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop, is, I guess, impressive. Yeah, but nonetheless, we're going with Valentin by submission, or it's going to be a sloppy decision, but I'm 100% staying away from this fight. Next, on our main card, we have Aleksandar Rakic taking on Marcin Tybura. This is going to be a heavyweight bout. This is Aleksandar Rakic coming up in weight to fight Tybura. We're going to see how he looks on the scales. We're going to see how he's moving, if the weight is going to be an issue. I am going to pick Rakic because he's going to be the younger fighter by far. He moves a lot better. He has good lateral movement. He has good feints, good power, powerful leg kicks, powerful calf kicks. He was chewing up Yuri Prochazka's legs in that fight bad until the pressure from Yuri ultimately got it done. But he does, when he is swinging, he's coming forward, he's distracting you with his left jab, just showing you it. But the power is right in his right, and he doesn't swing it too often. But when he does, he's aiming to take your head off. He's listed as a kickboxer. He's 34 years old. He's 14-6. Now, his run in the UFC hasn't been the best in the world. He made his debut against Francimar Barroso, and he was on a 4-fight win streak. They gave him Volkan Ozdemir, lost a split decision. Not a bad split decision. I think Volkan Ozdemir is pretty good. Then he beat Anthony Smith. Then he beat Thiago Moises. And which is interesting, Oh, I'm sorry. Thiago Santos, not Moises. I was about to say, isn't Moises lighter? He beat a Thiago Santos. Almost did it again. And then he went on a 4-fight losing streak. Right now, he's on a 4-fight losing streak, and that is concerning. But look at who he's fighting. He lost to Jan Blachowicz, who's fighting in our co-main event tonight. Well, that night. He lost by a knee injury. Then Yuri knocked him out. Then he went to a decision with Ankalaev because Ankalaev's not that good. And he just got knocked out last October to Azamat Murzakanov. The people that can knock people out have knocked him out. Marcin Tybura, he's not like a big knockout hitter. 10 knockouts out of his 27 wins. 6 of his 11 losses are knockouts by knockouts himself. He's 40 years old. He is a heavyweight, and it shows. He is a flumbering, blumbling, stumbling heavyweight. The odds are actually pretty close. Surprisingly, I feel like it's going to go a lot higher because Rakic will be the lighter man. And when you watch Tybura fight, he's not moving very fast. He's not doing that much. Now, he is on a 2-fight losing streak. He got knocked out by Ante Delija and then went to a decision with Tyrell Fortune. But the biggest upset is when he had a doctor stoppage over Jonata Deniz. And everyone was hype on Deniz. Although older, he was a big-time kickboxer. But we noticed in that fight, Marcin Tybura took him down, was heavy on top, and rained down elbows. Bloodied this man up, damn near unconscious. He was his corner had to get him up. So I am a little concerned in a few aspects, right? And this is where my mind goes. Tybura can shoot takedowns. Rakic, he can be taken down, even though he does shoot his own takedowns too. Don't let that be. Don't forget that. If Rakic's in trouble, he can shoot his own. I'm worried about Tybura. If he does get hands on Rakic, he could take him down, and he's going to be heavy on top. He is a big boy. But the youth, the originally being a light heavyweight, and the good movement, the good head movement, lateral movements from Rakic should be able to stand clear of Tybura's mitts. So I think I'm going to take Rakic. Might get a knockout. The leg kicks are devastating. Might get a knockout. But, like I said, come near Tybura and he could take you down. That's devastating. But the speed should be clear. I think Rakic's going to win this. I'm pretty confident here. Here we go. Our co-main event of the evening. We have Navajo Sterling taking on Jan Blachowicz. This is going to be a big step in competition for Sterling. This was supposed to be Jan and Bogdan Guskov, but Guskov was able to go against Magomed last week. That was a big step for him, which was a terrible match. I just turned it off after the co-main event. No need to watch that. Guskov was a fish out of water. Magomed was no better. But Jan was supposed to fight him, and now Navajo Sterling is making a quick turnaround. He just fought June 20th over Ion Cutelaba, and he got a knockout win. He's undefeated. He's 10-0, and he is on a 2-fight knockout win streak. I don't think he's going to get it here. He is a good fighter. He's listed as a kickboxer. He mixes in his kicks, mostly striking, and he uses a lot of feints, counters. He has good cardio. He has good takedown defense, although we've seen him taken down. And he'll mix in everything between hitting the head, hitting the body, some leg kicks. He's fairly durable too. I mean, obviously, 10-0. He hasn't been scratched yet. Now, it's funny. Some people list him as Muay Thai. It's interesting. He's taking on Jan Blachowicz, who is 43 years old. Oh my God. He has fought the who's who. 30 professional fights. 3 times the amount of fights as Navajo Sterling. And he's been knocked out twice, submitted twice, and went to 7 decisions. He is pretty durable. He went to war with Alex Pereira. He went to war with Carlos Ulberg and survived. Jan Blachowicz has great stalking pressure, powerful leg kicks. He has a good guard. Got a nice high guard when he's stalking down his opponents. He doesn't check leg kicks. He'll have his own set of leg kicks, and those are pretty noticeable. They're very powerful. He's durable, and he could also mix in some takedowns. I'm mentioning his durability because look who he's fought. Israel Adesanya, Dominic Reyes, Glover Teixeira, Alexander Rakic, Ankalaev, which is a draw, Guskov, draw. He went to a decision with Carlos Ulberg, went to a decision with Alex Pereira. That was a split decision. I actually think Pereira lost that too. I bet Pereira in that fight, and I thought he lost. That's crazy. You know how some people watch a fight and it's like, how are we watching the same fight? Because people are biased. Oh, I bet him. No. I thought my bet was smoked. I had Alex Pereira straight on the money line. I didn't even take him by knockout. Straight on the money line. And I'm like, oh, there you go. I lost. Wait, what? They gave Alex the win? I haven't rewatched that fight. But at that time, I remember seeing that. The pick is Sterling. This is short notice. Jan was planning to fight Guskov. So he's ready. He's prime and ready. He's just old. 16-year age gap. It's crazy. It's crazy work. Sterling is going to be younger, faster. I'm not going to say he's the more powerful, because power is the last thing that leaves you. 6 out of 10 by knockout. It's pretty good. Got, 60% of his wins are by knockout. I am going with Sterling. I think he passes the test, but that's a hard test. Jan is no easy night out for anybody. I wouldn't be surprised if Jan put beats on this kid. I mean, this is the test. This is a good test, and I think he clears probably by decision. Our main event of the evening, we have Uroš Medić taking on Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel Rodriguez, coming off of his prison sentence, his decision win over Kevin Holland. All right, he was in jail in Mexico for a little while, so he didn't get too much training in, to say. But he came off of a crazy performance over Kevin Holland. Spoiled my bets. I even messaged Kevin Holland like, yo, how are you going to get it done? You're a minus 700 favorite. Maybe at least try to win? I don't know. D-Rod was a plus, I think, 500 dog, and he ended up winning a unanimous decision where he was rocked, and he had Kevin Holland rocked. And Holland, I think he's a great fighter. He's one of my favorite fighters. So that broke my heart. D-Rod broke my heart. He is a decent striker. He's pretty well-rounded. He has good takedown defense. He has a good jab, but he loads up his left hand often. He has good lateral movement, good feints. He will swing wild when he smells blood in the water. But even after he gets one strike in, he starts coming forward, lunging forward, swinging wild. That's not something you want to do against somebody like Uroš Medić, who is another kill or be killed kind of fighter. His chin doesn't always allow him to be. Uroš Medić is 13-3 in his professional career. He has 11 out of 13 by knockout, 2 submissions. This man has never seen a scorecard before. He was knocked out by Punahele Soriano and submitted twice by Morotek Orobai and Jalen Turner. All of his wins are by finish, which is insane. He is coming off of that knockout win over Jeff Neal. Now, before Carlos Prates, Jeff Neal's never been dropped. Carlos Prates started the train of Jeff Neal's chin getting completely manhandled. I'm sorry, I take that back. Where was Jeff Neal dropped? He has 3. Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland dropped Jeff Neal. Oh my God. But it wasn't a while. That was 2017, back in XKO Extreme Knockouts, when Kevin Holland knocked out Jeff Neal. But since then, Jeff Neal has never been finished until Carlos Prates. Spinning back elbow. Sound like a baseball bat. Uroš Medić took him out round 1, and that was nasty. I remember seeing the snot fly out of Jeff Neal. Uroš Medić was dropped by Urbina, I think. Where's Urbina? This was like much, much earlier in his fights, because I just broke down Urbina before. Am I wrong? Where the hell is the fight? Am I losing my marbles? Oh, this is Jeff Neal. I'm like, what am I looking at? Yes, Urbina. 3 fights ago, he knocked out Urbina round 1, but not before he was dropped. He has a very questionable chin. Questionable cardio too, because we don't know what the scorecard is going to look like. We don't know what round 2 is going to look like. Although he went to round 2 and 3, he got some power. MATEUSZ Sellersberger, he brought spinning back fist and punches, as it's listed, in round 3. He went round 3. But he's still pretty questionable here. He's got a lot of first round finishes, stalking pressure, death touch power. And D-Rod has only been knocked out once in his professional career against Ian Gary, who is not known to be a killer. 7 KOs on his record, but that hasn't translated too much. We don't see Gary just dropping people, but he did for D-Rod. Minus 500 is kind of insane, if you're asking me. Depends on where you get your odds from, because the UFC has it listed as minus 330, but these odds are getting a little wild here, because I can see D-Rod coming forward, swinging wild, getting dropped. I could also see him staying composed and durable enough to drop Medić because of that chin. Nonetheless, I'm going with Medić to get a knockout, maybe round 2. Unless it's round 1 and this guy just keeps continuing his streak. But nonetheless, also keep in mind, if D-Rod does survive first round, I might live bet him. Because again, Uroš's chin is questionable. You could throw a Dunkin' iced coffee at his head and he might drop. Crazy as it be. I think the under or to end in knockout is incredibly live here. But nonetheless, we're going with Uroš Medić. That's the breakdown, guys. Thank you for being here. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Look out for my hit list and my Miss the Mark that's coming on Monday and Wednesday. And then look out for my trick shot, long shot, bullseye bet, and cycle parlay. I'll see you guys on the scorecards.